Dave here from HookahRev.com, bringing you a hookah review on Kaya Shisha. Shishas, hookahs, Kaya Hookah. So, a little bit of a international review, I guess, today. This is a German-based company, Kaya Shisha. I actually had an opportunity to meet these guys over in Germany during a World Tobacco Trade Fair this year. Very nice to meet them. But they actually sent me this a few months ago, so I've been testing it out, trying it out for a few months, just to get a good feel for everything, of course. But yeah, Kaya is a German-based hookah company. Well, they consider it more like a shisha or a water pipe over there, of course, but it's just all about the names and stuff. So this is the type, or the model, Pnx480. They have an immense variety of hookahs. So they have everything from tall, short, medium, basically anything that you can find. We'll go over the different kinds of quality that's featured in Kaya hookahs, and also what comes in the box, as well as everything else that comes with this. So let's start off by showing you this piece, of course. It comes in a very basic box, handle case, straightforward. Packaging and everything was quite good. So made it all the way from Germany to here with no issues whatsoever. Nothing broke, nothing, there was no issues, of course, but that's just the packaging. Comes very nicely. So it comes with the stem piece, comes with the vase, which is a screw-on type, silicone hose with a glass tip, so it comes with this standard. So this is fully washable because it is silicone, but it's sleeved with this nylon material. It comes with a vortex style bowl. They don't call it a vortex bowl, for the record. They just call it a tobacco bowl. Pretty nifty tongs. Tray. And that's pretty much it. Down stem, of course. So as you can see here, this first picture, I'm going to show you kind of how the how the pieces come together. So for the silicone hose part, it's basically just the hose. It's modular. A lot of things in Germany, they like to do it modular, which is kind of cool. But the silicone hose is modular, so you can see here how the glass tip fits in to the hose, to the mouthpiece, and then you can see how the silicone hose fits into the downstem piece. So everything is basically separate. Now, one of the biggest things I noticed in this was actually the downstem. The downstem for this hookah is exceptionally large. You can see in this picture how large it is, and then you'll also see here, while the downstem is very, very thick and large, you can see that it somewhat does not go all the way through. Now, granted, it bottlenecks a little bit at the top, as you can see through the lighting through that picture. But I guess the test of the question is, does it affect the smoke? So once everything was put together, after smoking it, after the whole shebang, getting this whole thing together, I can kind of see how all the pieces fit together. So we'll take a few quick drags just because I don't want that's actually one issue that I'm going to address. Let's pop that right in. Okay, modular, like we said, modular. Okay, so that issue came a little bit early in the video, unfortunately, but we'll touch on that in a second. But anyways, guys, to give you an idea, the draw on this hookah is very, very large. It's actually larger than standard Egyptian, like Khalil Mamoon hookahs. It is a larger draw. Doesn't always necessarily mean that it's better, of course, but I'm just reporting that the draw is larger than a Khalil Mamoon hookah. So that is a combination between the downstem diameter, the stem piece, everything. The hose is very high flow. Actually, the hose is not as high flow as like a fancy hose or a plastic disposable hose is, which in my opinion those are a little bit too much. But everything combined as a whole package makes this hookah smoke very, very well. So the hose is a nice length. This hookah stands roughly 18 inches tall with the bowl and everything on top, so it's quite a nice tabletop size. Everything is very, very high quality. That's the one thing that I do want to report, is that all the metal, the glass, everything about this hookah is very, very high quality. Now, one of the features of the Pnx480 is that the glass is actually colored, so it won't scratch. The coloring is actually inside the glass, so that's a very big bonus. And it just goes to show that the quality of glass that they use in this is of exceptional quality. Very thick, very heavy. This hookah is a very, very heavy piece for being a Chinese-made hookah. The coating on this, on the actual metal piece of the hookah, is very nice. So there's really, visually, there's nothing bad that I can report on this. Now the glass style is a very straightforward, straightforward standard Chinese glass piece, but between the coloration, the way it's frosted, the quality of it, you can tell that this is an expensive piece. So there's nothing from A to Z on this that makes it feel cheap by any means. And now as far as the smoke quality goes, we'll show you. Thick, very, very thick clouds. As you can see, the smoke output on this, amazing. Okay, so now I've showed you all the great features about this hookah, but of course there are a little bit of room, there's some room for improvement in a few places. So, as you saw, the hose port actually fell off. So the reason behind that is this right here. Because the silicone is a very high-grade silicone, I would imagine it's the whole non-flammable kind and all that, but it's quite thick and quite heavy. Between the glass tip and just the weight of this whole thing, the hose is very, very heavy. Now what happens is this, because this part is so short, and because it sticks up like this, it does tend to slip off from time to time. A little bit more grip in this piece would be nice. Now, I mean, this isn't that big of a deal because, I mean, if you do plan to use the stock hose, which you normally would, I mean, it obviously is a bit of an issue, just with that whole piece right there going. But if you use your own hose, obviously it's not that big of an issue, but as far as the hose part, this is one of the trouble points. Now, other than that, the purge would be the next thing. As you can see, the vase shape, it does bottleneck because it's a flat base, but as far as when the down stem goes down, you have to go to about the second notch of where almost to the top of where it starts bottlenecking. So with that in mind, it does affect the purge a little bit, but the purge is actually a separate issue. But the one thing that does happen is because I do smoke a little bit more, I guess you could call it aggressively, and purge aggressively, and the hookah can't really handle that so well. So if you load your water a little bit too high, so you want to go to about maybe 3/4, a little higher than 3/4 of an inch above the down stem on this. Now if you go a little bit higher than that, or if you smoke too aggressively, you take too big of hits, or you purge too hard, water is going to get in the hose, and that's happened several times during my sessions with this hookah. So you get a little bit of water in this, but because it is waterproof, it won't damage the hose by any means, but it's always inconvenient to get that bit of water going into the hose. So that being one of the issues, and then also the purge. The purge is not that big of a gauge. So you can see here, I made it a point to purge a little bit too hard, and you can see that there's some sizzling going on, which means that water has gone all the way to the top. So you can't purge that hard. Now, all that is means that there's a bottleneck issue within the purge port of this stem. That is one of the downfalls as well. So there's really 3 downfalls as far as the functionality goes. Aesthetically, I would say this hookah is perfect. So between the combination of 2, obviously you guys, myself, we are obviously weighted highly towards functionality. So it does unfortunately get a lot of points taken away just because of those 3 portions, which are quite important portions of hookahs. So granted, this is more of a desktop size hookah, so I can't be that strict on it because there are not that many small size hookahs other than maybe like a KM, the Beast hookah, that could really handle a purge like a full size hookah can. But any of the Mayas, any of the Sahara Smoke small pieces, you're not going to be able to purge as aggressively. I've really been digging the word aggressively, as much as a full-size rig. So with that into consideration, whole package, official HookahRev.com rating, we give this hookah a 78 out of 100. Now, I would have deducted a lot more points based on the functionality, but because this hookah works really, really, really well, and everything is built exceptionally, that's how we came up with this rating on this one. So this hookah goes on Kaya Shisha on their website for about, was it 79 euros, or is it, yes, I'm sorry, 69 euros, which translates to roughly 99 US dollars. it's actually not a bad buy considering all that you get with this hookah piece. So somewhat reasonably priced. Keep in mind again, it is an import piece, so you guys might not get your hands on it as easily in the United States. But if you ever come across this brand when you're overseas, or if you do want a little bit different style hookah and you don't want to get what USA has to offer, and if you want to shell out for one of these pieces, it is definitely a great buy. I would recommend going for probably the medium to the large size one, just because of that purge feature. I'd imagine it's a little bit better in there because of the glass size. That's really what you're going for. But the pinch point and the purge, if that's an issue for you, and if you purge like I do, then this might not be the best hookah for you. But as far as aesthetics go, it's a great centerpiece. Everything else about it works very, very well. But overall, the functionality issues was my biggest gripes with this, of course. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do have one more thing to announce. Okay? One more thing. Follow us on Instagram, HookahRev, instagram.com/HookahRev, if you haven't done so already, because here's a little teaser. Might bring back the Q&A that you guys love so much in a different format on Instagram, actually. So follow us if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much again to Kaya Shisha for sending us this hookah for review. We had a very, very good time with it. We will be using this on occasion. Check them out. Let them know HookahRev.com sent you. Check them out. Any of your German fans out there watching, Kaya, I have seen a lot of their lineup. Very, very impressed with it. Really like the aesthetics going on with it. If they fixed a little bit of the functionality issues in these types of hookahs, I can't see anything wrong with these hookahs. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.